charge-off rates on credit cards? Who's responsible for some of the weakness we're seeing elsewhere in the economy? And I do think some of it's that bifurcation, and it gets back to the wealth effect, right? Who benefits most from the equity market going up? Who benefits more from interest rates being higher on savings and investment accounts? Obviously, that's people who have the wealth to invest. And so there is this kind of widening gap. And then you throw in some of the fiscal issues facing the government. Maybe it's not surprising that confidence levels are not that particularly high. They're not back to where they were pre-COVID. And you would have thought we'd all be celebrating the end of COVID and consumer confidence would be skyrocketing. And that's just not what we're seeing.
Drew, thanks for the brief. Drew Mattis with MetLife there, covered a lot of territory there. And again, here with the NASDAQ up 0.8%. With our news in New York City, here is Michael Barr.
1989. Well, what do you think of socialism? What do you think?
Hot rather than soft. It's more likely to be a beat rather than a miss. And yet, a hawk.
Morning. How you guys doing? Just getting ready for the day. Yeah, per what we were talking about the other day. Today is the day, right? For pretty significant economic data that is going to move the mortgage rates, the bond market one way or the other. So those are the things that I track. What are you guys doing? What are you working on, or what type of businesses are you in? When you stop by and say good morning, also let me know that. Just kind of curious. Because the more of us that talk and let each other know what we're doing, the better you're able to get an understanding of this data from a real world perspective, not just from the talking heads on a set for a news publication or something of that nature. So just curious to know. But PCE index, this is what was forecasted, 0.2 or 2 ticks. It's up 4. Okay. Pardon me. It's up 1 tick, or 3, if you will. Went from 2 to 4 as far as the core PC index. February is a better representation than January because of all the sales and things of that nature that goes on in December. So this is a better indication of where inflation is going when you strip out certain things, right? So year over year, it's heading in the right direction. Okay, 2.6 to 2.4. And then the core PCE year over year, it's down, right? So those are good things to look at. And then when we look at the 10-year, it's down from the open, broke through a floor there. And so always a good thing when this yield is as low as it could go. You really want it to be below 4%. So for those of you that are out there, in my opinion, if you're going to be closing anytime soon, if you have a refinance, if you have a purchase that you're working on and you're closing here fairly quick, you want to be tapped in with your lender. Hopefully they're tapped in with you, especially if you've been waiting for a certain strike price. With the volatility, I will go ahead, if this trend continues this morning, this downward trend, I'd go ahead and lock in because the trend is your friend this morning. I would lock in and then start preparing myself, if you will, based upon what type of loan product you're doing, preparing myself for a strategy to refinance, reposition, okay, be it FHA Streamline, VA Streamline, an EARL, a USDA Streamline, or if you have a conventional, whatever that strategy is, you want to make sure that you've vetted that with your lending team, your lending professional. Hopefully you guys are at a point, especially if you've been watching me, where you're not just transacting anymore, right? Money is a commodity, but you really need a team that understands these things and are on top of it for you on a daily basis. So got a couple of videos coming out on YouTube. You want to avail yourself to the channel where I'm talking about what you need to do to prepare to take advantage of the refinances that will be coming. Some of you guys are in a 3-2-1, 2-1-1-1 buy down. Rates may have not gone where you wanted them to go here recently, and as a result, you need to do some strategy, some planning, some a strategy session, if you will, with your lender of choice. So let's see if they're back. Are they back? Yeah, let's do this. Let's do this. We're gonna go here.
Conversation ahead on Bloomberg.
And then we're gonna come back. I like surveillance with Bloomberg. These are some old cats, but for the most part, they're on it. Yeah, so they're not back yet. So, yeah, man, what you guys working on? I don't know if I have anybody watching. Just getting ready for the day. Just getting ready for the day, man. Let's see here. Let's do a shout out. See if we got anybody watching this morning. Or you guys might just be getting ready. Yeah, nobody over there. Let's see here. Anybody over here? Nah, nobody over here. And you guys always know if you have a question or anything or just a comment. If you just want to say good morning, man, good morning. But just trying something a little different. Kind of let you guys see how I get ready for the morning. And curious to see how you guys get. Here's another thing I want to say, man. If you are always in a consumption, a consumer mindset, you're always, or you will always have to pay. Now, there are some things you will have to pay for. I'm not saying that you're going to ever get to a point where you're not paying for a service or something of that nature. But with that said, the more you educate yourself, the better your overall cost basis will be in anything that you do. And when it comes to the financial things, financial matters, and the things that you're doing today is going to affect your future self, I think it's something that we really need to get into. Said all that to say the videos are cool, but go a little deeper, challenge yourself just to read. I mean, and these aren't academic papers anymore, okay? So you got to go beyond the headlines. And if you notice the trend, everything is TikTokable as far as the length and things of that nature. So you might have to go to more places, but always look for the source, because a lot of this stuff is AI generated, okay, just to get your attention. And so said all that to say, read a little bit, man, so you'll understand what's going on. And then when you see headlines and things of that nature, you won't be so emotional about it and able to make a better decision off that point. So here you go. Thursday's PCE report is poised to give welcome relief to the markets. Okay. If you're not in the markets, you got to think about it. Okay. Checking account, savings account, preferably a money market or something of that nature where you're earning some interest. Okay. 401k, IRA, brokerage account. And in that brokerage account, expose yourself to some crypto, precious metals, things of that nature, bullion, physical, if you can do that. Spoke about business and things of that nature before, but that's kind of outside of those accounts that I just spoke of. And then real estate, right? And insurance the right way. But again, you have to understand these things and take them one at a time because it takes time. Nobody wants to tell you that, but it takes time. So back to the PCE report. It says inflation continues to moderate. That's what you have to know. It continues to moderate despite upgraded outlooks for the U.S. economy. Okay, says Mr. Russell, global head of marketing strategy at Trade Station. See, he's in the business of reading, digesting, and regurgitating, making it simple. But he's the one that's growing in understanding And the more complicated things seem or they make it, the more likely you are to pay, right? It says in an email, Russell wrote that today's numbers, which also included growth in personal income and a pickup in weekly initial jobless claims, should just show just enough softening to keep worries at bay. It could be hard for the Bears to get a toehold in the market. So again, talking about equities and things of that nature, his sentiments are reflected here. You know, for us, for what I do, as far as the U.S. 10-year Treasury note, using that as a indicator of inflation, and understanding that this runs really, really well with 30-year mortgage yields, right? So, said all that to say, what does that mean? If you're in a position where you're going to be closing here quick, make sure you lock in, because this trend is your friend. But yeah, man, yeah, interesting type stuff. So stocks should be a little higher today. We'll have to see well, I guess East Coast time it's opening up depending on where you are in the country. But let's see here. Yeah, we don't want to hear about Maria Sharapova. I think I said that correctly. Yeah. So yeah, man. Good morning to you, whoever that is. Thanks for stopping by. Just getting ready for the day. I'll say too, yesterday was a very interesting day, and I think this might help an overall audience, if you will. I had a call from an applicant, actually submitted an application, older person on fixed income, and they wanted, in their mind, the concept is, I want to lower my overall outlay as it pertains to housing. And so the more we got into it, her current principal, interest, tax, and insurance payment, a little over $1,200. So the mindset for a lot of folks is that, hey, if I buy a lesser priced home, then I should lower my housing costs. Well, after I was able to speak with her and say, well, no, you really don't want to do that. Where you are right now is a good thing because rates are higher than what you have. And so when I explained that to her, very, very grateful that that was the case. But you all might be thinking the same thing. So this is the solution that I provided for her, or a recommendation. And it goes hand in hand with, these numbers, right? These economic reports. This is just an aggregate or survey on a broader scale nationwide. But you have to know what your personal economy looks like. So what I recommended for this person was, hey, sit down, minimum, go back 3 months. Okay, go back 3 months, get your bank statements. The beauty of that today is most transactions are done with some type of digital footprint, not a lot of cash, or if you're still using checks, if you're from that generation, those are things that you can track. The power of those things are for you to be able to give an accounting of where your money is going. I went on to explain to her, even with myself, have to practice more of what I preach, because typically when you have the ability, or monies aren't such a concern, if you will, things tend to become inefficient, like subscriptions. Okay. And you got to think about it. You could kind of go through some of these subscriptions and you may be spending a couple, $200-$300 a month. So that's one area that I see that you can have a direct effect in your cash flow. Okay. Second area is eating out. Eating out has become very expensive. And when we look at some of these reports, right, core, super core, right, and then CPI, when you look at the food in some of these places, eggs have kind of come down and things of that nature. But if you're not really grocery shopping, all those folks that buy those things to prepared to give to you to eat, those costs are being passed on to you. So I just looked at a couple of folks, and that's one of the things that we do here. It's just not a commodity type thing with a mortgage. We provide a service. But in looking at those bank statements, I found one applicant, let me say it that way, because they might be watching, just here recently, spending $800 a month, at these fast food places. Moreover, is it really healthy for us? You see what I'm saying? But cooking at home and things of that nature, that takes time that a lot of people perceive that they don't have. He said all of that to say this. You have to look at your personal economy. Okay. Got to look at your personal economy. And hey, I might have to slow down a little bit. I might have to have some deferred, delayed gratification. I might not be able to go on vacation and do some other things until I get the budget together. I.e., you could be your own Jerome Powell. Okay. He's saying, hey, man, you might not like it for a minute, but long term, ultimately, the goal is this. You're going to be better off, right? So subscription services, eating out, just entertainment in general. You got to think about that, right? Entertainment is a consuming mindset. These things here, right? I said it the other day. I don't know if it was on this live or whatever you may have heard, but think about it. All of the social media apps that are given to you for free, none of them have a time component on it. Like, what time is it? So you can't look up, man, I've been on this thing an hour. And if you just start being honest with yourself and doing your own study, right? Meaning, next time you get on whatever your app of choice is, okay, turn on a stopwatch and just see how long you're doing the dopamine hit. It's like the reverse, or swiping, or Vegas, right? And looking at likes. And I posted something. What did somebody say? How much time, right? How much does that cost you? That's all I'm saying. So as we all look to get better, because myself included, I've done a couple of things, and especially if we're speaking to business owners and things of that nature this morning, getting ready, you have to put some blocks in, because you're busy, but are you being productive? And that's a question I had to ask myself. And more times than not, I was busy or even inefficient or going down rabbit trails saying, hey, I got to do social media, yada, 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 to get the word out. But when you go back and look at it, juxtapose the competition and things of that nature, you're just busy. You're getting that dopamine hit. So manage your economy. Is it time yet? We got 3 minutes. I'm going to let you guys go. If you like this morning, kind of get ready. We could build from it. It's not going to be super, super long, but let us know. What kind of business do you have? What do you think about these economic reports? Are you keeping an eye on them and trying to understand how to interpret the information, the data, to help you in your daily practice and or your customers or whatever it is that you do? I'd be curious to know. So have a great, productive 29th, right? What do they call it? Leap year. It's a leap year. Because first of the month, wake up. It's the first of the month. Hopefully y'all got some rent checks coming. Shout out to Bones, Thug, and Harmony, depending on who you are. Y'all have a great day, man. Peace.